My goal in this lesson is to help you discover your niche. So first of all, what do I mean by niche or specialty? Well, for our purposes, it's a real estate service that appeals to a small, specialized segment of potential home buyers or sellers. Love this quote from Dolly Parton. You gotta keep trying to find your niche and trying to fit into whatever slot that's left for you or to make one of your own. Absolutely, and that's what we're hoping by the end of this particular lesson, you'll get some inspiration, and then in the next lesson, I'll get into the tactics and the specifics of what you can do to generate some leads. So what are some benefits of niche or specialization? Well, first of all, it's the ability to set yourself apart from the competition, clearly. It allows you to become that real local expert and influencer for that niche in your market. I believe your perceived value is higher with the specialty. I want you to think like doctors and attorneys and how they choose a specialty. Not many doctors and attorneys are generalists, right? And that's the idea here. You're going to choose a specialty. Now, what I mean when I say this is that you're not going to do everything is always about your specialty, meaning that you're going to turn down business if it doesn't fit into your niche or specialty. No, I'm just suggesting after I'm done here and I go through these next set of questions that I really want you to analyze for yourself, you may find something that really fits for you and is going to help you overall. That's the point here in this particular lesson. So what are those questions? Well, first of all, I want you to do some homework around these questions, do some soul searching, and then go out and do some exploration. And you may actually need to, if you're newer to the business, get some experience with real estate before you decide to dive in and develop your specialty. However, some of you already know what you're passionate about and you want to dig into it. So this is why we're including it in the Real Estate Sales Builder program right here in this module. So a couple questions. What area or segment interests you the most? What area are you already connected with? And again, it'll make sense when I go through all the different areas, okay? But it may be a lifestyle, it may be where you live, it may be your experience or your past experiences. And then probably to me, the most important question is, why do you want to specialize in this niche? Now, the idea I like to give here is that you're not just going to pull something out of the air, for example, and say, you know, I'm going to be a golf course community specialist because there's so many golf courses in our community, but you don't know the first thing about golf, you don't golf, or maybe you used to golf, but you're really not into it, and you're just choosing it because it sounds good. Or maybe you know a few people who are golfers, or maybe you sold a home in a golf course community. This is not the right reason to choose it, okay? You're choosing it because you answer those questions. I'm a golfer, I could do videos about golfing, I could go talk about all the different golf courses, I'm going to do my homework, I'm super jazzed about this. And by the way, you can get some help from other people in your life that know you, because when you really stumble upon the thing you're passionate about, you generally light up more. You know, you go from, yeah, I think I'm going to be a golf course community specialist to, I'm going to specialize in golf course communities, and then you start naming all the things like I was just doing. You smile, you light up. It just really turns you into like, yeah, I want to do this because it's real, it's authentic. You can't fake that. All right, we'll come back to this if you need to. Let me dive into the different categories of niches. We're going to start with geographic. This can simply be a city or township. It could be a master plan community in your area that you live in and love and want to really be able to specialize in. It could be neighborhood or farms, more than one, maybe a school district. It could be a zip code. If you're in a metropolitan area, it could be you specialize in the downtown properties versus the suburbs. So that's geographic. Next major category for a specialty would be property type. So here's a list of them. Condos or townhomes, multi-generation or next gen. This is becoming popular. It's still very hyper local and a small niche in my opinion. However, a trend that you can start to see in what people are wanting in homes is what new home builders are building. And many of them are building multi-generational living where people have different entrances, more than one family can live together. It doesn't have to be actually family members. I've had a client who, it's three folks who retired, they're best friends, and they pooled their resources. They retired to Las Vegas and they bought a home together, and they have three separate areas of the house for their living quarters, and they share the common area, the kitchen and the great room and living room and so forth, right, in the backyard. Next, high-rise or loft living, if you have that in your areas. I mentioned golf course, obviously, earlier. Gated communities. It could be all about green communities and green new construction. New construction is definitely a specialty if you're in an area that the builders are building. Lake, waterfront, beach, if that's applicable to you. Luxury, right? The high-end properties you could specialize in. And again, you got to really love it and want to work in it and want to talk about it all the time and produce content around all of this. How about second or vacation homes or resort properties if it's applicable? Then you have investors and fixer-uppers, farms, ranches, historic homes, any other lifestyle specialties that work for your market. Those all fall into the types of property. The next major category is demographics. So think people. So here's a list of types of people that you can work with. And again, tied to, you just don't pick it off a list. You have some kind of connection. You understand why you want to do it. And you can create some great content around it. And you're going to have fun with it. These are the prerequisites in my mind for being able to get a specialty that's going to work for you. So it could be the senior community or the 55 plus active living, military or veterans. That's one that is definitely a specialty for me because I am a veteran and I love working with other military folks, active duty, retired veterans like myself. Think first responders, teachers, first-time home buyers. Could be millennials, Gen X, baby boomers. You could choose that demographic. International buyers or sellers. Working just with investors as a niche, that might be something that's right up your alley. Could also be things like newlyweds or people who are transferees or becoming a relo specialist. All right, so that's types of people. Then a bit of a real estate specialty niche. There's 3 that I can think of right off of the bat. One is probate, another is divorce, and then distressed properties. Now I put these together because this is going to impact all types of people, and it is definitely a specialty that you have to dive in and get some more training on. There are plenty of certification trainings on those 3 things alone. And the first 2, probate and divorce, are definitely going to have you, all of them actually have a very big emotional connection. You have to have some empathy. You're dealing with people who are going through major milestones. With probate, it's the folks that are left behind. With divorce, clearly, there could be a lot of emotional issues here, and it could be a really intense type of client to work with. Same with distressed properties. People aren't generally happy if they're in a short sale or foreclosure process. Something's going on for them. Okay, next major category is hobbies, skills, and interests. Now, this is taking what you've done before real estate, right? Or other areas that you're currently still interested in, that you're passionate about, that are your interests or hobbies. And I've just got a list here. So you would just and I give you the list to get you thinking outside the box a little bit, that it doesn't have to be very specific to real estate. So let's say that you have an interest in professional sports, or maybe you were connected with that, or high school sports. That could be an area, or maybe it's conducive to the area that you're in, has a lot of professional sports teams, and you have a networking connection with that. Pets. Are you passionate about pets or a certain type of breed, or is it cats or dogs? You could find other people that are interested in this. And you are then the person who helps people find homes for their, labs or golden retrievers, because you are super passionate about that and you're involved in, rescue for labs and dogs. You get the idea here. It's really about a project or a passion in this particular area. Are you into gardening or interior design or staging? What about cars, automobiles, trucks? Is that your thing? Outdoor rec and activities. It could be crafts, books, music, the hospitality industry. Are you an exercise, fitness, or wellness expert? Is that your other little side hustle to what you used to do to you're still passionate about it and you want to work with other people in that area? Okay, so those are the major categories for you to start thinking about. There's so many more, but that's just the list to get you started and start digging deeper into why you would even want to do this specialty. The next step after you choose a specialty for the right reasons, as we've just gone over, you're going to develop that client avatar for your niche, okay? And this client avatar idea is what all marketers talk about. It's developing who's your perfect client. And it's an exercise that you really need to do, because when you dig deep and you get clear about who your perfect client is, that's going to impact the type of content you put together and what is it that they want to hear from you about. So start with their demographic information, and I really recommend digging into the details here and almost coming up with, just think of an avatar that you would put into an app or a game. What does this person look like? What's their demographic? What's their level of income? What does their daily life look like? What are their pain points or problems as related to real estate, and how can you help solve those problems? What's most important to them? What do they value most? What are their goals? And where do they go for information? What social media sites are they using? What experiences are they looking for when they are looking for a real estate agent that they can trust to make the next purchase or sell their home? All right, so a little inside tip here: when you're working on this exercise about who your perfect client is, you need to look within, because we really are looking for that tribe, right? That tribe of people. Who is your tribe? That's a little bit of an overused cliche, I know, there's books written on it. But the idea here is you are going to, whether you get it or not, attract people based on the energy that you put out there and who you are. So like attracts like, okay? So this is naturally just happens in the bigger scheme and order of things. But when you're very intentional and focused on this, then you can be super clear. And I think when I say look within, you answer those questions for yourself, and you're going to find a lot of a little insight into who's your perfect client. All right, and then you're going to become this local expert in your niche. I'm just going to give you a couple things here, and then join me in the next lesson where we'll dig into some specifics about lead generation in your specialty. The first thing I can say is go get some more training. Get a designation, a certification, or whatever training is available for that particular niche or specialty. Many of the big ones have it. You can start over at nar.realtor, or just do a Google search for your area and look to see, go back to your broker, go back to your local association of realtors and so forth, or your national association, and get some ideas around where can you get some specialty training, right? Now, what I like about getting detailed training and going in for a certification or a designation is there's always pieces that they go over in those trainings about marketing strategies, and you can get some great ideas of things that you can do. The other big area about becoming that local market expert, besides a designation, is you have to, I don't know how many more times I'm going to say it, but I know you're getting it now by now, Module 11. You must know your local market. You have to know the inventory. You must know the housing stats. And specifically, if it's tied to the niche market that you are going to be covering. So that's more about property types, but it could be about a demographic as well, but it's mostly around property types. So if you're going to be the golf course homeless expert, okay, the golf course community specialist, then you really need to be able to not only know everything about what's happening in your local market, even on national level, I believe it's important, but now you want to be able to talk about those golf course communities when you do your market updates. So you've got to dive in, research, get a list of every golf course community as an example, or learn everything you can about that particular specialty so that you can just speak about it without notes. It's because you love it. It'll come easy for you. If it's around a demographic or a geographic area, then you need to preview the homes and learn about all the features and the amenities if it's specific to a property or an area. And then you're going to decide on your marketing and your lead gen strategies. That's coming up in the next lesson. And of course, choose your social media platforms based on where your perfect client is for the niche that you're going to become the expert in. Create valuable content related to that niche, right? That's the steps that you have to do after you choose the specialty that's right for you. That's it for discovering your niche. Next up, marketing and lead gen strategies for niche and specialties.